So, I don't know how familiar you are with the Jeremy Kyle show, but it was essentially the British Jerry Springer.
And you look like your parents slept together too.
Yeah, it was a rough show. Essentially, he'd be riling up these guests, usually from less privileged backgrounds. He'd get them backstage. He'd be like, "Oh, you won't believe what she said about you." Then he'd like sneak off, scurry off to the other side, and he'd be like, "Oh, you won't believe what she said about you." And then they'd be like, "What the? I can't believe he's done this. What a." And then he goes to the other side and it's like, "Yeah, I can't believe it. Look, she was saying you're awful. He's glad he's cheated. He's glad he takes
off my face on the will I am.
He loves it." And then they'd be like, "What the fuck? That's my baby. She shouldn't be doing this to herself." And then you'd get really, upset. And then he'd obviously take them out. And by the time that they meet in the middle of where the stage is, so essentially you've got someone in break room A, break room B. He rolls them up. He goes, "You're a scum. You're the worst. You're the worst. They're saying this about you. They're saying that about you." They get on stage. They're angry. Once they have an outburst, Jeremy Kyle takes the moral high ground at that point. He starts saying it. He lays it on thick. "You're scum. You're the worst. I can't believe you do this. You're an addict. In fact, I don't even want to see you on my stage anymore. Get off. Get off immediately now. You're the worst. You're not even worthy of this. You're a gambler. And you're the worst. I bet your brother even does. You're the worst. I bet you'd even. You'd check the babysitter if you had the chance." Disgusting.
Disgusting!
So yeah, that was essentially what the show was. Bear in mind, this was always shown at about 8 o'clock in the morning, so little 9-year-old me would just normally be walking downstairs, what are mum and dad watching, I just oh right, this is it.
Well, she's 16 and she's got your baby growing inside her stomach.
And then your dad would just be like stone-faced washing it up. And I thought to myself, damn, is this what normality is? Just a bunch of random people that they've dragged off the street who are clearly going through some economic hardship. And, some pretty borderline awful issues. This is the future of it, just monetising it on telly. I mean, I didn't think of it that deeply as a kid. I just kind of laughed at the Toffee Crisp rapper Johnny stuff, not knowing too much about it.
Anyone like Toffee Crisps? You ain't gonna like them now.
Why?
Because she had with someone who wore a Toffee Crisp wrapper as a Johnny.
But yeah, that was essentially what the Jeremy Kyle show was. I'm going to play some clips now from the final ever episode, because it's the only one you can actually find on the internet. It's been absolutely scrubbed. But if you know, you know, right? There's actually a bit of a tragic backstory to this. The guest Steve Diamond actually ended up committed because of the famous lie detector result tests, right? He said he wasn't cheating.
Prompts into the AI.
Jeremy Kyle disagreed, right? And yeah, it got nasty.
He is absolutely determined to prove to you that this is just... He says, "I've probably said a few white lies in the past to impress..." Well, I'm to pass, yes or no?
There's something wrong with him.
Do you think you'll pass?
I'm 50-50.
All right. Why'd you lie so much?
If I knew the answer to that, Jeremy, I wouldn't be here.
What do you mean by that?
I just lied to her for no reason.
Still to this day?
No.
Tell my team I'm made up about being in the Navy.
Yeah, I did want to be in the Royal Navy, but I failed because I was colourblind.
So essentially, he's been lying a lot. That's the gist of it. He's made up that he's in the Navy and he could only get into the lower rank. None of this that he's saying is adding up, but she assumed it's because of cheating, right? And later on, he ended up straight after the show, and there were a bunch of texts that showed that, yeah, this is kind of the fault of Jeremy Kyle, really. He was saying it's because of the lie detector results. So not a good look, to be honest, for the Jeremy Kyle PR team. Not amazing, to be honest. You've now got a widowed wife or partner. Incredibly sad stuff. This is the moment he reads these lie detector results.
At the start of your relationship with Jane, have you passionately kissed anyone else? She said no. Why did she say no, Steve?
Because I was telling the
Tess
truth.
says you're a liar, pal.
A laugh as well, yeah? That is insane. This is the kind of spectacle they were putting on, right? And this was a normal thing to just walk into. As late as 2019. not even 6 maybe years ago. It's not that. It's recent history, you know. Just pre-COVID, this.
Just so you're aware, you failed every single question.
Insane. Anyway, he even throws out a few metaphors and similes.
You need to look in the mirror, mate. I wouldn't trust you with a chocolate button, mate. Let me tell you what I know. I don't actually take any pleasure in this at all, contrary to what some people say.
He says he takes no pleasure in doing it, but let's be honest, because of the ratings that Jeremy Kyle were pulling in, he probably takes great pleasure in the fact that there's actually a bit of drama going on in this show. I don't think he takes great pleasure in the fact that someone's going to pass the lie detector result, because usually it's negativity that actually creates good press for a show like this. If there was no negativity, no one would watch the Jeremy Kyle show, would they? Absolutely no one. The whole appeal of the show was the fact that you get people on, their lives are worse than the viewers, so the viewers feel better about their own. Now, I mean, if it's all positive, no one's going to f***ing watch it, are they? It's not really that good to have an affair without an affair, is it? So you do take great pleasure in it, Jeremy Kyle, and I'll tell you what, you take pleasure, in fact, in a lot of other seedy behaviours as well.
Spain, 0344 499 1000. Migrants. I love Mike's Migrant of the Day story.
But yeah, essentially that's what Jeremy's doing these days. Oh no! Oh, talk, the home of common sense.
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can.
Brilliant. I love it. The branding. It's A tier. It's like the most
Killed by the
woke mind
worldwide
virus is
virus.
overtaking the branding I've ever seen in my life. It's beautiful.
I can't imagine what that would be like. You have no idea how many people that's killing.
As is it, the home of common sense, my art. Jeremy Kyle used to get people that were literally shoveled on with probably injected into them forcefully, and then he'd throw them onto a stage and then tell them about affairs that probably weren't even happening. You think that's the home of common sense? That's the home of lies? That is the exact opposite of common sense. Why would you want Jeremy Kyle to be the voice of reason? You're obviously up. But yeah, that's essentially what Jeremy Kyle does now. He's a cancel culture commentator, from what I can gather.
It's also a Geordie bank holiday. Obviously, you'll all know my second team, Newcastle. What a day that was at Wembley yesterday.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Sure, Jeremy Kyle loves a bit of football, doesn't he? This is it, though. He's a good marketer. He's using football to appeal to the senses of the people who are scared of the woke mind virus. So he's doing a good job. You can't knock him. He's like that charming yet insufferable who probably wants to sell you a BMW and isn't telling you about the 15% commission he gets on it. In conclusion, Jeremy Kyle's, and I don't know how they've decided to give him an entirely new TV show, considering the circumstances of the last one and how that went, and the fact that they're just deciding that it's morally okay to have this geezer who a big platform. I can't really get behind it, but that's probably about it, mate.